Hello, lovely people, and welcome to the Almita Made channel. My name is Alma, and I'm here to chat about all things making, especially sewing. And as those of you in the UK will know by now, the Great British Sewing Bee is back on the telly, and I'm very excited. It's obviously one of my favorite shows on TV. It's all about sewing. So I'm sorry if you're watching from elsewhere in the world, you will not know what I'm talking about. So maybe skip to another one of my vlogs that's more general. But for those of you in the UK, I just wanted to do a little series to chat briefly. Hopefully I've got a timer on so I don't go on too long. I just want to share my favorite things about each week, going through it. And annoyingly, the BBC doesn't let us use the pictures. They're quite protective of those pictures. So what I'm going to do is put a link in the details to the Great British Sewing Bee Instagram account, where usually after each episode they post pictures of the makes. So that's somewhere where you can go and take a look at the things that I'm talking about. Now I'm set here, I've got the timer on, I've got my sewing themed cup with coffee, and I have Esme here by my side. Wouldn't you know it, guest starring. I think a few of you might have this. It's an egg cup that looks like Esme from the bee, and I added some, I think it's like a scrounger or something, so it's a pincushion. I love it. So here she is to bring the sewing bee vibes. So I took a lot of notes and they are pure chaos, just to show you. That's a mess, but I'm gonna chat through the 3 challenges. Before I start anything, there will be spoilers in here. So if you haven't watched the bee episode yet, please go and watch it. I'm going to bring these out at the end of the week so that hopefully by now everyone who wants to see the episode has seen it, so that I don't ruin it for you. But yeah, spoilers, spoilers, spoilers. Carry on. So we start with the pattern challenge, which I think is such a good way of establishing where we're at with everyone in the room. And this week, the challenge was a tie front top. So of course I had to wear my tie front top. This is a very popular style of garment, so I really like that they went for that for the pattern challenge. And I thought the pattern was really cute, very classic. I thought it was doable in 3.5 hours. Not to me, I would definitely take longer, but I thought it wasn't like too scary as a first challenge. And someone said, I think it was Orla, who said, I'm not a peplum lover. I am right there with you, Orla. I do not love the peplum part of the tie front blouse, which is why I've gone for, this is actually a hack of the Sew Over It Maeve blouse, which is usually with longer sleeves, but it's definitely no peplum, so it's just straight, because I love wearing it tucked into my trousers. And the idea of having the peplum, of course, was to assess their gathering skills, another thing that I would be terrible at under pressure. So I thought they did very, very well. And I thought it was interesting that they chose to finish the blouse with ribbon. So I don't love that look. I definitely prefer when the ribbons, the ties are made of the same fabric. Now for this is, in the original pattern, it's rouleau straps. I've done flat sort of ties because I really like how that stands proudly. And the reason I think they did ribbon is to give them one less thing to do, which I thought was very kind for week 1, because otherwise they might have been using loop turners and things like that, which always adds to how long you think it's going to take. So I understand the choice of ribbon, but I thought that all of them would have looked cuter with ties in the same fabric. That's just my personal opinion. Now, I thought they all did really well. I felt so much for Safi, who used a fabric that I've actually used. It's a Fabric Godmother Tiger viscose, and it is such a light and lively viscose. I've made a Sew Over It Anderson blouse. I work at Sew Over It. This is the disclaimer, so I'm going to talk a lot about Sew Over It. I love the patterns, obviously, and I've made a ton. So that's the little disclaimer bracket. And I've made an Anderson blouse, and I'm going to be honest, once I cut the pieces, nothing really fit where it needed to fit because that fabric is so shifty. So my heart sank when I saw that Safi was struggling so much cutting it. And that would absolutely be me. I would take an age to cut anything out, and then they would be announcing that there's 10 minutes left. So I really felt for her. And I thought that blouse would have looked so cute had she finished it. So I was sad about that. The one that Jess made, actually, which was a gingham with purple ties. There was a lot of purple in this episode. I was very pleased to see. That's my favorite color. So very exciting. And Jess's blouse was the one that, looking at all of them, I would say that's the one I'd wear. And I felt really sad that her iron rebelled against her and burnt a hole in it. Oh, that feeling, we've all had it, I think. It's horrible. So I was really sad about that, because to me that was the cutest, and it was the right kind of fabric. The gathers looked really good. It just held the shape very well. So yes, such a shame, because that would have been my winner. But Kit won the challenge, and that blouse was beautifully made. And I think it was the first time for gathers for Kit, which is very impressive. Not much gathering, and then nails the gathered pattern challenge. So well done, Kit. Really like that. Then we moved on to the transformation challenge. Now, I'm going to be very honest. I never loved the transformation challenge. It's not for me. The times when I have loved it is when, for example, they used an embroidered tablecloth to make blouses, I think, one year. That I really loved, because there was a lot of applicability. I think that's when I enjoy transformation challenge, is when I see something that I think I would actually give this a go. And I do want to give tablecloth blouses a go. Actually, I've got a couple that my grandma embroidered. I've just been too scared to cut into them, but at some point I will. And that I loved. There was once, I think they had to transform crochet blankets into garments. All of these things, I'm like, oh yeah, that's sparking something in my head, in my imagination, that makes me want to try it. Other times I'm just a bit like, I would never do this. But I agree that a circle skirt is a lot of fabric. So if you want some cheap fabric, basically, you can find a circle skirt in a charity shop, and you can definitely get something out of it. And I thought they were all very inventive. You know, no one just made a different skirt. So that was impressive, but it's not my favorite challenge. That's all. So I'm going to move on swiftly to the made to measure, which blew my mind. So I kept thinking, is this week one? Like, people are amazing. They were so creative. I thought the idea of giving pleats as the challenge was so open. And I was really impressed at how far the contestants took that idea. So there was all sorts. I think if you'd said pleats to me, I would have gone for the sort of pleats, box pleats, or pleats on a skirt. That's what I would have thought. But no, these people went so far. It was amazing. And I thought there was something for everyone. I was very impressed at the variety in the room. I really enjoyed that challenge. So for example, I think on the more classic side, I think it was Kaz who made a denim pleated dress. A beautiful shape created by the pleats, and then she top stitched to perfection. Can you imagine top stitching in a contrast color, top stitching denim under pressure? I don't know how she did it. I was very impressed. And I thought, that's a very wearable dress that you would see in a shop and buy. It's not my kind of silhouette, but I'm like, hats off, because I thought it looked so well made, so classy, beautiful. And that was on the more traditional side of pleats. Really good. And actually, I'm just going to tell you a tiny sneak information, is that maybe you will see something with pleats in the next Sew Over It pattern, because it's coming very soon. So it felt quite apt, but can't talk about it yet. Just look out for it. And then we had the uber creative pleaters in the room. I, for example, really loved Yasmin's tartan dress inspired by Vivienne Westwood. I thought that was beautiful. However, I did think that maybe the pleats were less in your face because of the tartan. You didn't see them instantly, if you know what I mean. And the fabric, I think, wasn't stiff enough to really stand up with the pleats. So I thought that's a gorgeous, gorgeous dress. It just wasn't doing what they wanted it to do as much, but I would wear that dress in a heartbeat. That was gorgeous, so beautiful. And Vivienne Westwood, always a great place to get inspired, I think. And so that was one of the top ones for me. Then I was amazed and impressed and so happy for Safi, who turned it around big time with a custom print fabric. I thought this was genius. So it was lots of stripes, and I think the idea was that it would make it easier to pleat correctly. So each stripe formed a pleat, something like that. And I thought that was really, really clever. And the final effect was gorgeous. Gorgeous. It's, again, probably not a silhouette I would wear, but I was so impressed by how it looked. And there was lilac peeking out of the pleats that were yellow and green. It was very, very creative. And it was very interesting to me to see that Safi did really well with the challenge that she was able to prepare. So I think she's similar to me in the way she operates. So the other two, you don't know what you're going to have to do at all. I know the made to measure, you have to adjust the fit on the model and all of that, but she was able to plan the look that she was going for. So I think she's very, very good, and time is just her enemy. That's all. So I'm feeling for Safi. So that one was gorgeous. The tartan one from Yasmin was gorgeous. The one that won Garment of the Week was from Peter, and I did think it looked very impressive. I loved the engineering. It was basically a little black dress with big pleated, interestingly pleated shoulder pads, I'm going to call them, and a pleated belt. And although I thought it looked very, very impressive, I did feel a little bit like it wasn't the part of the dress. It was like an accessory to me, a very cool accessory, but it was something that got attached to the dress. That's how it felt to me. The one that for me was the winner was Orla's, because that was incredible. It was the black and white origami folded into the middle of the chest in a way that I did not understand. It was lots of zigzag parts that she sewed together to make this incredible, like, trippy element in the middle. And with the black and the white, it was so good. That was absolutely my garment of the week. It was incredible. I would love to wear that, and I didn't understand it, which always excites me when there's something that I'm like, I would not know where to begin to try and make that. That's exciting for me to watch. So I absolutely loved that one. I did think that Peter's shoulders were very, very cool. But if we're looking at a pleated garment, I thought Orla had the edge. But that's just me. Don't get mad, Esme. And overall, I just kept thinking, is this week one? Is it week one? Can it be week one? It was just so good. So, so good. And just in general, I got very excited about it, sewing being back on TV. I always hope that there's people watching the show that don't sew, that maybe will get curious about it. Although I have to say that the things they're making look so difficult, like all these pleated things that I don't know if as a beginner I'd go like, yeah, I could give it a go. But maybe the tie top, so the pattern challenge, for example, might be appealing to beginners. But in general, I just really love this bunch of sewists. I think personality-wise, I'm really drawn to Novello, who is wearing a really cool yellow jumpsuit throughout and has 9 grandchildren and was doing a handstand. First off, it's like, boom, here I am, Novello. I was really intrigued by her. I really enjoyed Kit's energy in the room as well. Really loved it. And, I already have a soft spot for Stuart. Just a sweet, calm presence in the room. I really liked it. When they were interviewing him, I think back at home, he was dressed very classically with like a waistcoat and a tie possibly. I was just like, oh, what a gentleman. Delightful and very good at sewing. He did the purple pleated dress, which again, not my silhouette. There was a lot that wasn't my silhouette, but I can still appreciate the color for sure. And the pleated, so he did sort of very pleated mini dress with a very intricate pleated neckline, which was really, really cool. And I just liked his energy, to be honest. So yeah, little favorites already, and Safi is my spirit animal. I just feel like I'm going to go through it with her. And I thought it was just really fun. Oh, and of course, Sarah Pascoe was back presenting, and I'm so happy about that because she has been one of my favorites, her and Joe Lycett, I think. So I love a comedian presenting. It just works for me. It's a system that works. So keep it going. I love her. I really enjoyed what she was wearing. It was really fun. And I can't wait to see more. So hopefully I will bring you these every week. I'm not going to promise because we'll see if I can work the timing. But I enjoyed doing this little chat, and I hope you enjoyed watching this little chat. Again, I'm sorry I can't put pictures up, but do go on the Sewing Bee Instagram page and you'll be able to hopefully see videos or pictures of the garments I'm talking about, and it will all make sense. So we'll see what next week brings. I think it's all about activewear, which is always fun and different because lots of different types of fabric like lycra. So I'm excited to see what they make. The sneak peek again of the made to measure looked very impressive. I think we're in for a treat. And if you enjoyed this little chat, do give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to my channel. I'd love you to take a look at all my other vlogs where I chat about making a lot of sewing, a bit of knitting, a bit of the odd other craft. Thank you so much for stopping by, and I'll see you again next week. Bye.